Hello everyone! In this video clip, Chad Easker talks about his most difficult day while competing in the Epic 5 challenge. He describes how on day 4 he got terribly seasick, and at the beginning of his 2.4 mile swim he was literally vomiting in the water. So what propelled Chad through this 2.4 mile swim and the consecutive 112 mile bike ride and marathon after being physically ill all morning? He talks about the importance of his team members in this clip and how that, combined with his own mental tenacity, really got him through this day. Be sure to check out my full video conversation with Chad. I'll have that linked below. I will also have links to the Conversationless iTunes and SoundCloud pages where you can subscribe to the podcast component for this conversation. Without further ado, here is Chad on the most difficult day of the Epic 5 challenge.
When day 4 came around, that's when things got very real because I got sick. I got seasick on the boat ride from Molokai over to Maui.
Oh, wow.
And so before I even was able to swim, I was extremely seasick. I was actually throwing up in the water on about the 4th lap.
When you were swimming? Oh,
when I was swimming. So I was
Wow.
literally underwater and throwing up so hard. The nice thing, the only good thing about all this was that Jason was standing on the shoreline right before we were going to go in, and he said, "Do you want me to swim with you?" And the race director was cool with this. She's like, "Anytime your crew wants to, swim, bike, or run with you, absolutely, they're welcome to." So he ran and grabbed a pair of shorts, and he went in the water with me, and it was 9 loops around a buoy, and then one person that was on a paddleboard, which they were struggling trying to stay on this paddleboard, and so we were doing loops around them, and they said it was a 9 lap loop, and by lap 4, I was throwing up so hard and underwater over and over. I think a total of 6 times, and he saw me and started screaming for me to stop. He's like, "Just stop for a minute," and I'm like, "I'm not quitting. I can't quit yet." And so what I thought would be kind of not a cakewalk, but I thought would be the easy part would be the swim, turned into be my biggest challenge because the waves were so big that I just had to get done and get out of the water, but put my face back down, and I just went, and it was, when I got out of there, I wasn't prepared, I guess, for how I was going to feel. I just felt, so nauseous and dizzy, and my head was pounding. Now, all the nutrition I had taken in pretty much the night before and that morning, completely gone. So I'm starting at a negative on nutrition and on hydration. Yeah. And it was concerning because that can get dangerous. And so immediately when I got out of the water, the crew chief, Nick, just said, "Okay, we'll get you back." He's like, "We're going to get this back and we're going to get this taken care of." And so he's feeding me bread and giving me Coke, trying to settle my stomach. And 5 minutes later, that all came out. And he just blew it off as he's like, "Oh, that's good." He goes, "We got all the salt water out of you. Now we're going to start again." And I was drinking Pedialyte, I was drinking water, I was drinking coconut water, Gatorade, anything I could. But I was so weak from finishing that swim and feeling so crappy that he just kept saying, "Come on, we're going to get you back, and we got to get on the bike, we got to go." And they took me over where the shower area is. I got showered off and threw my kit on, and on the bike I left. And I remember just feeling the worst feeling I've ever felt in my life, and I had to get on that bike and do 112 miles. And
then you have to run a marathon after that?
After that, yeah, too.
So, how did you finish that day? Did you start eating after a while?
I did. I actually tried. I was eating goldfish and saltine crackers and anything that was just bland and pretty simple, but there's not much nutrition in that. So I wasn't getting a lot. Yeah. I remember at it must have been right around mile 50, I was so just exhausted and depleted. And, this was 3 days. I had run 3 Ironmans before that. So, you're on day 4 of this with no nutrition, feeling like just terrible. Yeah. I sat down in the back of the van, and they had the air conditioner going, and I remember just putting a wet towel over my face, and I just put my head back, and those guys all were like, "Oh my gosh, he's checking out, this could be it." And I know Scott was very shook up. Everybody was just concerned, and at one point somebody brought over a phone to me, and it was my brother on the other end, and my brother just said, "Hey, I know you're hurting right now, but we need to get you need to get back on the bike. He's like, you need to get going, like right now. And I'm like, you know, Corey, I'm dying here. Like, this is not easy. And he goes, I know it's not easy. He goes, but you're going to finish this, so you got to get on the bike right now, and you got to go. Literally threw the phone down. I'm like, give me my helmet, jumped back on the bike and started going. And when they started feeding me, they actually fed me McDonald's because I had a ton of calories.
Yeah.
I think they gave me a vanilla shake, and it was like the greatest thing ever because it was cold, it was
like
filling,
bland, yeah.
And it was like, oh my gosh, and that was like lightning fuel. You know,
Yeah.
I started going again, I started feeling better, and literally got back to the transition area after 112 miles, and I felt good. They brought me back, literally from the dead. And when I finished the race that night, one of the course marshals had saw me, and she just said, unbelievable comeback. She was like, I just can't believe, I've never seen anybody that sick come back. I said, well, thank my crew. And she goes, well, that's another thing. She goes, I've been doing these races a lot of years, and they're the best I've ever seen.